Hello, everyone. My name is Ryan Cam. Welcome back to the Horror Movie Iceberg podcast, where myself and Russell Howell watch disturbing horror movies till we tap out. It's been a while, Fred Durst, but here we are again.
We're gonna keep on rolling, man. If you know us, that's for sure.
I
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't want to say
yeah,
anything at first, but then when I saw the red hat and the goatee, I'm like, okay, clearly.
all right, yeah, we're bringing back my mid '90s. I'm having a midlife crisis, I guess.
Well, we're going back to not the 90s, but the 80s with this one. For those who are new around here, we've been slowly making our way through the VHS franchise. And we are now at the end of the years trilogy of the VHS films. We had 94, 99, and now we're going to be taking a look at, in my opinion, the best of the years trilogy and one of the best VHS movies, period, VHS 85. This was released in 2023 on Shudder. And like I said, in case you're new, we go through the wraparound segment in one go, and then we break it down segment by segment with an overall rating at the end, because these are anthology films. And with these anthology films, I think it's more fun if we go just segment by segment. Figured that would make a lot more sense. But to kick things off, let's get to the wraparound segment and let's talk about Total Copy. So this whole wraparound was directed by David Bruckner, making his return to VHS in the directorial sense. He had been a producer, but this is his first time directing something in quite a while. He's also a producer on this film with Radio Silence. Just in general, Russell, what did you think?
It was okay. I liked it better than some of the other ones. I mean, it was all right. It caught my attention enough. You know, some of the ones that we watched, the wraparound episode, the wraparound sequence or whatever, or episode you want to call it. Some of them are like just they're weak. This one wasn't as bad. This one was okay. I put this one up and maybe like half. I would say like at least like halfway up the list of the ones that we've watched that have a wraparound episode.
Yeah, I think I like what they were trying to. I think I like the message more than the actual execution. There's some great practical effects here throughout this whole movie. The CGI is not super great, I'm not going to lie, but I mean, it's Shudder money. Like, what are you gonna do? But I feel like this was a play, and I watched the kill count on Dead Meat's channel as kind of a companion to this. And this felt more like a tribute to stuff like Videodrome, and it's very tech heavy. Like this movie doesn't like technology. We'll get to Techno God a little later, but just in general, a kind of through line. One of the through lines is technology kind of sucks if you think about it.
Yeah, it's funny because that was 85. You think about all the progress it's made, like look at 40 years now, I mean, almost 41 years, and how crazy technology has, post 85, how crazy things have gotten and how crazier things are going to get. You know what I mean?
It gets even worse, like when you consider like what Techno God predicts, but we'll get to that in a second. This is, I think in terms of in terms of the wraparounds, this might be my favorite. Again, it kind of breaks away from the whole putting the VHS tape into the player and then watching it. Like, this is the official end of that and the beginning of like looking for something more symbolic rather than just that. But I still there was enough here to where I was like, okay, there's a lot of stuff here. I really like that. But to get into the narratives proper, let's kick things off with No Wake. This was directed by Mike P. Nelson, who had previously directed the Wrong Turn remake a couple years before this. It tells the story of a bunch of teenagers who go to a deserted summer camp No, Jason's not in this
What?
one. I
What?
almost I for a second I almost thought they were going to go that route, but I'm pretty sure they
Yeah.
wouldn't. But they're I I almost thought they were there, but anyway,
Yeah.
the teens end up getting killed and then revived. So in a bit of an interesting twist. So what did you think?
I liked it. I dug it. Did you notice the other thing that I thought was funny too was camp? And I'm like, oh, tell me this is gonna be called Camp Evil. How dumb is that gonna be, right? And then he
Yeah,
finds it's just Evic. Like I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. I did notice the Roman numeral 7 on the van, and I'm glad. And I thought about it, and I'm like, wait, there was 7 of them, and I'm glad that comes around because I'm like, son of a bitch. I was pretty happy about that. There's little things
yeah.
that I was like, I was like, come on. But I liked it. I thought it was cool. It definitely had it had the Friday the 13th, probably the remake, I think, probably vibes to it. Do you know what I mean? I think when they're like when they're doing the water skiing and stuff like that. I liked it. I dug it. I thought it was cool. It was definitely it puts that first person. It gets you it gets you kind of scared.
Alluded to, this actually connects with another one of the segments. We'll get to that. But just in a vacuum, I loved the atmosphere. I loved, like, most of the actors here are I had never seen before. Again, watching the Dead Meat video, there was some who had experience in other anthology films, but to me, this
Okay.
was my first time. And I thought they all fit the part pretty well.
Yeah.
And ties into what we will see in one of the later segments. But in a vacuum, I really liked what they did. And because we've gotten Kids versus Aliens and the Sentinel. I can't remember the name of the. We've gotten a couple VHS segments that have become full blown movies. I in my head think what would make a really good movie just out of this short, and I think this one would be one of them.
100
I feel
100%.
like
Yeah.
I feel like
I
you have the what I'm going to call the lake of reincarnation, for lack of a better term, and then they find that they're immortal now. They're like, well, all we have is time, so let's see what happens. And what we later see at the end of Ambrosia, I don't know, that makes for an interesting premise to me.
100%. And also, kudos to the practical effects with the girl's jaw. I thought that was really great
Yeah,
too. I really thought the attention to detail on that one was you could that this could have completely ruined the episode, the anthology episode or whatever. It could have ruined it, but I think they did a really great job with that. And kind of what you said, I could see a Blumhouse making this film for dirt cheap and it turn out buku bucks, release it in the summertime, have that summer atmosphere to it. I could totally see it.
people always talk about summer ween nowadays, but I mean, like, come on, like, add some watermelon, some like mungo jerry, like, there you go, like,
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
your summer horror film right there.
There you have it. All you need is the ice cream man or whatever. What was that? Isn't that Eli Roth's new one? Did you see the previews for that?
Yeah, that's coming up in like a month or two.
Sign me up for that one. It seems something crazy. I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
It's Eli Roth. He doesn't make normal movies.
No, the house with the clock, the clock of the wall or whatever. That was actually crazy that he did a family film.
Yeah, that one was good. I liked that, but again, he doesn't
Yeah.
make normal movies.
Oh no, there's some kind of childhood trauma that's going on there. I think he's just something's going on, or he had nightmares or something as a kid, man.
He must have. But moving on to our next segment, which is called God of Death. And this is going to be where Russell and I differentiate, because to put it in as simple terms as possible, this takes place during the 1985 San Diego. What am I talking about? The Mexico City earthquake. Like, it starts out in a news like cast, like, that you see people getting made up. They're like, here is the news from Mexico City, and literally as they're filming, that's when the earthquake happens. And then underneath the earth, underneath the rubble, they end up finding, well, the god of death. So I actually liked this segment, but Russell, you did not.
Oh, dude,
So
it was so bad, man. I don't know. I was bored. I don't know. I was on board with the the earthquake, and then once you had like this like Mayan or Egyptian god or something like that, man, I'm done. I'm out. I don't know. It just didn't do it for me. I get why. I mean, I obviously I get why you liked it, but I just to me just oh man, just wasn't one of the strong ones I liked. You know what I mean?
My reasoning is I loved the claustrophobia of it all.
Yeah, for sure.
It felt like it belonged in the Rec universe if you really think about it.
Yeah, I see it. I mean, I do like the trapped feeling, almost like the Descent movie. You know what I mean? When you're real tight in there, or like As Above, So Below. Like when you're in
Yeah.
that really tight confines. I think that was cool. I just think that just executing it out with that, I just think was so random, and it was just so out of left field. I just wasn't. Uh, you just have to be ready to accept whatever that these VHS films throw at you at that time, I guess. If it hits or misses, and it's just I don't know. I'm watching. I'm like, oh man, no, no, no.
Forrest Gump once said, "Life is like a box of
Yep.
chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get." Well, the VHS movies are like one of those big old Russell Stover boxes. You're like,
Oh yeah,
oh, caramel. Then, oh, the toothpaste one. No thanks.
yeah. You're like, oh wait, toothpaste. I want this one. Yeah, is it mint?
Well, in this
uh,
one, like I said, in this one's defense, I did like the atmosphere. I liked, like, again, there's some practical effects here. I did appreciate that. There's like Russell's lower third is alluding to, there is a fart joke in here
it was so
randomly out of
random.
nowhere. I can't
So
I can't
random.
defend I can't defend that. Like I like a good fart joke, but in that moment I was like, what
I was like, what? I
what
was like,
in
what?
the what is that?
Was it?
But
Was it like? Was he nervous farting? The guy was getting mad. He was getting crop dusted there because he was crawling behind him. I don't know, man.
I
It was
mean
so
I
random.
mean if if I was underneath a building trying to get out, I'd be nervous too.
Yeah,
So
for
I
sure.
I like it, but I can understand the case why this one is not really the best. But
Yeah,
moving on to Techno God, which is spelled TKNOGD because the 80s, I guess. And
yeah,
this ends up telling the story of a performance artist who claims that she has found the god of technology. And well, she's right, much to her chagrin. And what we were talking about earlier, Russell, about how it kind of predicted technology. Like, let's just talk about this one off the rip. Like,
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
they pretty much call the VR headset iPhones, not
Yeah,
iPhone,
EYE Slayer,
iPhones plural.
which was great. EYE. I thought it was great. I texted it to you because I was just like, man, that's just funny. Come on, I don't care. I don't care who you are. That was a good one.
And it turns out this was actually based on an actual VR headset that someone made in the late 80s. It never got off the ground, and it was literally named iPhone, like EYE phone. But it never got off the ground. And I mean, like, Steve Jobs came along a few years later and made this. But
Yeah,
like looking at that, I'm just like, wow, man, if this guy sat on it that long, that's just crazy. And then I also love, I think this might be the scare. I'm not sure if I'd say this is the scariest one, but this is definitely my second favorite segment overall.
okay. Yeah, like the VR thing almost gave me kind of like Lawnmower Man vibes, just to how it looked. I don't know, or like I get what you're saying. It wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite out of these ones, out of these five. Yeah,
Well, I think what got me the most was like it started out as like I have found the god. It is it's very much like a you see this crazy person on the side of the road kind of thing. But then she
yeah,
puts the headset on. You see what looks like one of the Tron movies on the screen,
yeah,
and then you actually see the actual techno god. And wow, the techno god is scary. Like I don't know, it was scary to me anyway. And it's just ripping the skin off of this artist. I'm just like, whoa, okay. And then what happens with the headset, I won't spoil it, but let's just say it's brutal. I'll go on record saying one of the more brutal VHS moments of the series.
and then you gotta laugh. I gotta laugh because I thought the other thing is at the end where they're clapping, like they think that that's the performance, and it's like, wait a minute, it's really not. Like they're all clapping after, like, oh my god, yeah, not knowing obviously what happened. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. Performance art. It is.
Yeah,
There you
there you
go.
go. Well, she's really, yeah, she's really with it. She's really with it. She commits.
Yeah. Well, penultimate segment now is called Ambrosia, which is the sequel to what we ended up getting with No Wake. That basically you have this family celebrating, and then you see, because, well, spoiling No Wake, the teenagers end up getting shot by a mystery assailant. It turns out it's this one girl named Ruth who is at this house at this party, and they're watching the footage back like, man, you really shot them, didn't you? Like, just super blasé about it. And then they ended up getting raided by the cops, which
Yeah.
that was certainly something.
Yeah, I like, but not even like thinking that it would connect. I just remember the Roman numeral 7, and then it comes back up again, and I see it. I'm like, oh, I wonder if they're going to circle back to that. But I like it. I like the fact that we see what happened. We see who did it, the assailant that was shooting the kids. I liked that. I thought that was kind of cool. And yeah, it's something a little different. Apparently the one aunt makes really good arsenic brownies, if that's a thing, hey, go for it if you'd like, but I like this one. I thought it was cool. The shootout, yeah, I guess, sure. I mean, what else are you going to do? Because what else? You could do, I don't know. I wish we went a different route, but this one was okay. I liked it enough though.
I think the thing that kind of sticks out to me about this one is what happens to Ruth, the one girl at the end, where
Yeah.
it's like, don't disgrace the family name, and then she ends up getting sprayed by the water from the Lake of Reincarnation, and she pretty much can't die, even
Yeah.
though she was shot and in a normal sense would have died, but because she has the water on her,
Yeah.
like, she can't die now, and she gets arrested. They're like, well, you're going to jail for quite a long time.
Yeah, yeah. And how does that work? If they administer you the death penalty and you live, do you live? How does that work out?
I guess they create some kind of Hannibal Lecter sort of thing, and
Yeah,
like just keep you on guard at all times or something. I don't
yeah,
know, that
something.
it makes you think. But I liked the interconnectivity of the
I
two
did.
segments, if that makes any sense at all.
No, I agree. That's kind of what I was alluding to at the beginning of it. I like the fact that they tie it in. I thought it was kind of cool because you don't see a lot of
But
episodes. You don't see any of them do that.
yeah. But to wrap things up, our last segment is called Dream Kill. And yeah, let's get this one out of the way. That not only was this directed by Scott Derrickson and written by C. Robert Cargill, this is dun 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 set in the Black Phone universe. And it took me a second to be like, wait, why does this seem so familiar? And then it hit me. I'm like, wait a minute, is this Black Phone? Because like the dream sequences are shot the same way.
Yeah,
Like it's like there's even one of the main actors from it. So like this is a Black Phone kind of, not dry run, because Black Phone came out a year prior.
yeah,
So like this is like Black Phone 1.5 almost, sort of, kind of.
yeah. No, I dug it. I love the murder. I like the murder scenes. How the camera footage is just, it's like chilling. It almost reminds me too. I'll do another Scott Derrickson. What Sinister was kind of shot like that too, with that kind of Well, Scott Derrickson did Sinister too, did he not?
Yes, he did.
Okay, that's what I thought. Just the way he shoots that, though, just the way he shoots that break-in scene in the beginning with the 911 call, the girl's calling 911 and she's hiding under the bed. I love that. I think it's so frightening. You could make a whole movie on that, like just like a serial killer like that, and just how that shot. It's so haunting. Like the tracking, the track shot that Derrickson does in this one, just it's really unnerving.
And kind of keeping it all in the family, the Gunther, the goth kid, is actually Scott Derrickson's son.
Oh,
It's a bit tough to recognize him with like the hair and the makeup,
Yeah,
but that's another dead meat call. Like I
cool.
didn't find that out until like watching that.
Yeah.
So and then Scott Derrickson's other son ended up doing the score for this segment. So yeah, we have a all Derrickson love affair, I
There we
guess.
go. There we go. We did it. Yeah.
And then like I was going to say, you know, you could do a lot with the Black Phone movies, but I mean, like the Grabber's kind of dead now, so I don't know what you could do, but I don't know. Maybe find another killer, like set it in the same universe, make a copycat. I don't know. That could be a video for another time.
Yeah, I mean, the world's your oyster in that one. I mean, you really could do a lot of things with that and tie that
Yep.
in. Like, look at how they did the dream stuff in the second one. That was kind of like a nod to Dream Warriors, the third Nightmare on Elm Street film too. You know what I mean? So, like, yeah, the world's your oyster on that one. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that. If they do, I'm sure they would because they've both made some pretty good money. So, we'll see.
Yes, but to kind of round things off on VHS 85, I'll say it. I think this is one of the better VHS films as a whole. I'd put that right up there with VHS 2 in terms of my favorites. I think it's VHS 2, this one, and 99. I'll make a definitive list when we finally watch all these movies, but I'm going to give this one an amazing grade. I like there's definitely some stuff I didn't like the earth, like the fart joke and the earthquake stuff. I didn't care for that,
Yeah.
but the stuff I liked, I really liked. And I feel like there's a ton of quality here. And to round off the year's movies, they went off on the best note possible.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this one's like definitely there's a lot more of the segments that are actually really good than not so good. Like I said, the techno one and the other god one just wasn't my cup of tea. But the other three hit. I like how the first one plays into the other episode, and then obviously Derrickson's, the Dream Killer, whatever. I thought that was cool too. So yeah.
Well, what did you think of VHS 85? Let us know in the comments. Love to read what you have to say. And Russell, thank you so much for doing this. As always, tell the people where they can find you.
Yeah, you guys can find us Notorious by Chance. We just dropped our episode on Iron Man 3 to kick off the MCU Phase 2. So check that out. We will be recording the greatest Thor film, Thor Dark World, of course. We'll be recording that sometime, I think either tonight or this weekend. We're going to be on the lookout for that. You guys can find us also Notorious by Chance on YouTube. I know that they've been recording things here and there, so I don't know if they're going to be recording anything anytime soon, but check it out anyway. Watch some of our old stuff and all that fun stuff.
Yep, links below. Subscribe to them over there. As far as this channel goes, next Friday we'll return to the Reiner Project and we'll take a look at the American president. It can't be any worse than North. But in 2 weeks' time, we will return to the horror movie Iceberg and return to the VHS series by taking a look at one that I, like 85, have no real knowledge of. I've seen it, but it's been too long, so I'll need to rewatch it. It is VHS Beyond. But for Russell, my name is Ryan Cam. We will see you all in the next one. Y'all take care.